We're onto the category of religion now, and our first guy really is our first guy. Arius was not the first Unitarian Christian, but he is the first outside the Bible for whom we have a name. Arius believed only God the Father was God. He believed Jesus was God's first creation, higher than angels, but less than God. That makes Arius a small u Unitarian. As a modern Unitarian Universalist, my relationship to Arius is ambiguous. Arian Unitarianism is a part of UU's roots. On the other hand, modern UU is based only on shared principles for living, not on shared beliefs. Our beliefs are all over the place. Many UUs are Christian, but I belong to the second largest group, humanists. I admire Jesus, but I'm not a Christian. To me, asking if God is one person or three persons is not relevant. To me, it's like the Lilliputians in Gulliver's Travel going to war over a hard-boiled egg, over opening a hard-boiled egg at the big end or the small end. I have no horse in this race. This is not a good guys versus bad guys story. I just present it as an interesting case history in relations between church and state. Many Christians believe that Trinitarianism won because it's true and God wanted it to win. Non-Christians, of course, disagree. Historians of religion neither confirm nor deny such beliefs. Historians just look at human causes. We can all agree on what humans did without needing to agree if God's intentions were thereby fulfilled. So what did humans do? Well, for almost 10 generations, from Nero to Constantine, both Unitarian and Trinitarian Christianity were illegal in the Roman Empire. Sometimes Christians were actively persecuted. In most generations, though, the policy was don't ask, don't tell. Christianity spread widely, especially among the lower classes. Things changed in 313 when Emperor Constantine made Christianity legal. 12 years later, he called the Council of Nicaea to standardize beliefs. At least 22 of the bishops who went to Nicaea were Unitarian. The 70-year-old priest Arius was their spokesman. The majority of bishops who came, with a young archdeacon named Athanasius as their showrunner, believed that Father, Son, and Holy Spirit were equal parts of a triune God. Things did not go well for Arius at Nicaea. He was hit in the face by Nicholas of Myra, that's Santa Claus, and he was voted against by the council. Constantine, although he was pretty laissez-faire, was officially in charge, even though he was not a baptized Christian at the time. Roman emperors had always been in charge of Roman religion, and Constantine saw no reason to change that. Arius was ordered into exile in Illyricum, that's modern Croatia. He went into hiding in Palestine instead. However, over the next 10 years, Constantine changed his mind. He invited Arius back and exiled Athanasius instead. Athanasius headed for Germany in what would turn out to be the first of his 5 exiles by Arian and pagan emperors. Sadly, Arius never made it back. Our sources say that his Trinitarian bishop prayed for God to kill Arius, and Arius died. That was either divine intervention or coincidence. I mean, the guy was 80 years old, or some have suggested poison. We're not expecting any new clues at this point, so take your pick. When Constantine finally became a Christian on his deathbed, he was baptized by his distant cousin Eusebius, an Arian bishop, while Trinitarian bishops stood by and fumed. His successor, Constantius II, was also Arian. Well, that gave the Arians 25 years of imperial favor. So why aren't most Christians Unitarian today? It's because neither Constantine nor Constantius gave Arianism status as the state religion. No laws were passed in its support. Most people continued to believe and teach their children in whichever version of the faith they had been raised. The next emperor, Julian, was actually a pagan, but he only lived 3 years, and we were back to Christian emperors, some Arian and some Trinitarian. The real turning point was the year 380, 55 years after the Council of Nicaea. Theodosius I, a Trinitarian, made Christianity the state religion. He persecuted pagans. He ordered all Arian bishops and priests to give their churches to Trinitarians. Most importantly, he decreed that Arians could not pass property to their children. It was forfeit to the state. And there was a sudden rush to convert to Trinitarianism. If you want everyday people to convert, hit them in their pocketbooks. Mind you, this 55-year flip-flop only happened within the Roman Empire. The Vandals and Goths, who invaded the West and set up kingdoms in Spain and Italy, they remained Arian for another 300 years. There was even an Arian Pope, Felix II, who ruled for 10 years. Even so, Arianism was long gone by the Reformation. Let's turn to modern times, by which I mean the 17th century.